Hey, Thrand here. Welcome back to our second episode of course we weren't sure of a name, Thrand Can Cook in his Heathen Viking Alchemical Kitchen, I guess, because everybody had a lot of good input. We do like all that, but it's just a real long title. It's difficult. We may just label them what we're doing. Like today we're going to be doing sour cream, and show you how to actually make real cultured sour cream. And historically the way this would be done, you'd have raw milk when it comes from the cow. It would have natural lactobacillus in it, or bacteria from the cow. It would have its own bacteria. And when you separated it and the cream came to the top, you would skim it off, and that's how you get your skim milk below, which would be 1-2% milk. And you would save that cream, and that cream would be basically like our cream here, but this has been pasteurized. It would have its bacteria in it, and it'd be stored in like a root cellar or during the cool time of the season or in a cool area. And as you kept storing it, you would keep adding cream to it. But as that cream got blinky and started turning into sour cream, your cream would be slightly sour. That's why you have dishes in ancient times where they'll use sweet cream modernly in those same type of dishes, and they'll sometimes use sour cream, you get more like a stroganoff type gravy instead of a cream gravy or a cream sauce. But that's because whatever they had is what they used. I don't think at that time period they actually had specific recipes for one or the other unless you just brought in some fresh cream that day or you went and used your older cream that you had. I think a lot of times people just use what they had available. We have a jar today. We're going to use this to put it in. You could probably even use this container, but it would be very difficult if you tried unscrewing this and undoing it and culturing it here. You couldn't get it out. We need something we can take a spoon, like a long-handled spoon or something, or at least be able to scoop it out and use your jar. We've got our trusty buttermilk. And of course, we showed you how to make real buttermilk or sour milk. And we're going to use this today as our starting culture. Now, I started off with one that's already been sealed. I will make more buttermilk out of this or sour milk as it gets drank down. We'll use it because I will use it from the store sometimes even though I don't really like it as much. But I'm going to use this as a starter culture for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this here and make sure this, I've let it set out and get a little warm and it'll go faster that way. I'm going to open this up and we're going to pour it in our jar. And you want to bunch on the edges. Try to keep it down at the bottom. I already messed up and got some on the edges. But you want to try to keep it down in the jar. Like this jar is about the right. Now get it all in here. You don't really need to shake it up like I did. The shaking was not going to hurt. This is pasteurized cream, and it's freshly opened from the source, so there won't be any other bacteria in it, so you don't have to worry about that. The only bacteria we're hoping to get is the lactobacillus that this was cultured with here, and this is real cultured buttermilk. I smell it. It smells good. And what we're going to do is take a tablespoon, which I'm going to accidentally pour it, try not to. I shook it up because sometimes it does separate. They use stuff to thicken the milk and control how thick it is and all this kind of great thing. But all we should need is probably 1 tablespoon because we don't want to water our cream down. But we want to make sure it's totally mixed well. If we don't mix this up well, it won't sour properly. It will sour in areas but maybe not hit other areas of time. We want the culture to be totally mixed up all the way through our jar of cream, which I am using later to make a reduction sauce, a sour cream-based sauce, pretty much like a stroganoff sauce with beef. So it should be really good. You can use this for anything you want. You can use it with vegetarian dishes, I mean anything like that. So you don't have to do a beef like I'm going to do later. Should be good. This should be mixed well enough. But it's like I said, it's not going to turn instantly. It's going to take a little while for it to be right. But we just want to make sure we get it mixed well. Take a little taste. Yes, I do a low carbohydrate, high fat diet. To me, there's nothing wrong with cream or sour cream and just eating it if I wanted to. So I can put a lid on it like this and put it all loosely, or too tight or whatever. Set it like we did the other. But what I'm probably going to do, just to show you, because you might have an old jar and not want to waste it, and we're real frugal. You can make an airlock type thing, especially with a ferment. And this is a form of fermentation, although you're not going to get a lot of gases. You're not going to get, like if we were doing some kind of a kimchi or a sauerkraut or something, you're going to have problems where, you have gas build up and you have to release it. And you could sit here and open the lid every now and then. That'd be a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is just use an elastic I've got here and a piece of plastic. And that way if there is any gases that build up or don't come back right away, it's not going to build up any pressure. as long as this is sealed, the plastic. If it's food grade plastic from the store, you can recycle these bags from the store because they're food grade plastic, as long as they're clean, or even ask for one if you want it. I just use the ones we use because that way you're not wasting anything. You can throw this in the recycling bin, save it for more pieces, take this and just wipe it off. It's more likely not going to have anything but a little mist on it, and you still throw it in the recycling bin. So you're not wasting anything, but you're reusing it, getting more use out of it. So a lot of times I get plastic bags, and people say plastic bags are bad and so on because I use them for fermentation locks and making everything. Ale, I use them when I make my sauerkraut because I like a fermentation lock on the top. It makes it less likely to get the white mold on top, which is perfectly okay on sauerkraut. But today we're not doing sauerkraut, we're doing sour cream. We're going to set this back out of the way, and we will come back in about 4 or 5 hours and check it. If it's curdled up enough, and it's actually not really curdled, but it's a nice cream, real thick, and will stay in the jar and not just pour, it'll probably be ready. It's got the right sour flavor, we'll taste it. It may take a few more hours than that. It depends on how good our culture here is in our milk. And like I said, we'll use some of this milk up because I don't like wasting anything. And I don't like it because it's 1%. I want whole milk, good syrup milk. And we'll try that out and make some more buttermilk like we showed you in the first video. If you have any questions about the buttermilk, you can see that in the other video. And I will get some raw milk, and we'll do the raw milk later too, and I'll show you how to do it from scratch. So you can do it actually traditionally like it would be done. And I'll even show the sour cream later as well. But right now, this is how to make it with modern products you get at the store. But when we get real milk, we'll have none of that stuff in it. But right now, I mean, you're still going to end up with a good sour cream with a lot. They'll even put more additives if you made sour cream out of, like got the sour cream from the store. So let's give that a little while. We'll come back and check that out, and we'll see how it turned out for y'all. All right, we're back now. We've got our sour cream here. I came and checked it, like I told you, after about 4 or 5 hours, and it hadn't started turning yet. Normally when I have a really fresh culture, like when we made the buttermilk in the first video, it turns much quicker. And the other thing I messed up on is, I told y'all guys, 1 tablespoon of starter. And of course that starter is not as strong. It's from the store. It was closer to the expiration date, the expiry date or whatever. So I probably should have used 2 tablespoons because I had 2 cups of cream. You usually use a tablespoon of buttermilk per cup of cream. But let's see what we got today. And it's nice and thick. That's the way it should be. It's not going to be super, let's taste it. That's going to be the big test. It's not going to be super thick until you get it cold in the fridge. Because once it gets to the right point, you're going to stop it from over-fermenting and separating, because you'll start getting separation of whey and cream and stuff. You don't want that. You want to put it up after it gets to about this point. See how nice and thick it is. Oh, and it's very good. It's just nicely soured. It's not ridiculously, tart. And it tastes so much better than anything you would get at the store. I don't know how to explain it unless you actually make this yourself. It's totally different. It's excellent sour cream. It's going to make a really nice stroganoff style sour gravy or a sour sauce for my beef. But anyway, that's basically all you have to do. Potential of using this, let's say if you didn't have refrigeration and you were trying to keep cream. If you kept adding fresh cream to a large batch of this here will act as a starter to keep souring the rest. So it takes so many hours and so on. So if, let's say, you had access to cream or fresh cream, you could just keep adding it to sour cream and pretty much keep it indefinitely without refrigerating it or anything in a cool place by adding to it. But the trick is you have to have more to add to it. Of course, if I set this out on the shelf and just let it set here, eventually we'd start getting separation. If you get liquid on top of it, where it starts separating and it kind of thickens up, and you get the liquid, that's not a big deal. If you start getting really bad mold on it or something, then that would be something different. I would suggest possibly throw it away unless it was a real survival situation. I guess you could scrape it off enough layer off the top that you might be okay on the bottom, as long as it didn't taste bad. But that's how you do sour cream. We will come back later with actual raw milk and do these same things. I'll probably be coming back also with the buttermilk, because what we're going to do with that is we're going to set that out and actually end up making a cream-style cheese and whey. And the whey is very useful for all different types of other fermentations and to help start different types of fermentation. But anyway, this is an excellent jar of sour cream. I hope you all have the same success we did. Remember, it's 1 tablespoon per cup. I messed up. when I did that at the beginning, I came back later and had an extra tablespoon and mixed it up, and we waited a little bit longer. Instead of 5-6 hours, we waited about 12, 13 hours right now. Anyway, that's excellent. It's delicious. You guys got to try it.